gentlemen, the Stillen Supercharger.
My name is Jeremy Guth. I'm a senior, but I'm dating a freshman. And I drive a 370Z Nismo. My mom is a commercial real estate lawyer at Goldberg, and Goldberg. And she bought me this car when I got all B's on my report card for the last semester. She says if I get a job for the summer, then I could take my Nismo to college in the fall. I wanted to go to Florida State because that's where Bert Kreischer went, but my mom says I'm going to the new school.
Yeah. Oh, brake's fantastic. Oh, this is good. Yes, this is a giveaway car. And I'll be honest, I've driven a 370Z once in my life, and I liked it, but I knew its limitations, and this is a sports car that doesn't really exist on my radar ever. Traction control turned on a straightaway. That's funny. All right, Nissan. You just saw I was biting my lower lip there. So click on the link in the description or head on over to go.getentertowin.com/regularcars, buy a mug or a digital download, and someone's going to win this Nismo 370Z Stillen.
I'm gonna miss my girlfriend, but if she cheats on me while I'm away, I'm sneaking back into the high school, breaking into the art room, and smashing all her ceramics projects. I put a starlight roof in my Nismo to prove I love her. And she says she'll suck my dick when her braces come off. My name is Jeremy Guth. I drive a 370Z Nismo and I found my dad's butt plug and I used it. I turned off traction control and tried to do a street takeover by myself, but all that happened was the police filmed me and met me at my parents' house afterwards. I asked the police if I could have the video to send to Gears and Gasoline, but Officer Alex said he already sent it to Fredo on TV, and Fred called me an evolutionary lesson, but I never took that class. But just because I am lukewarm about a car doesn't make the car bad. So, take for instance, Porsches don't make me hard, and they're one of the greatest manufacturers in the world. Plus, the Z car was what opened the door for Japanese sports cars in America. Not Honda, not Toyota, Nissan, or, Datsun back then. Also, starting in 2025, regular car reviews will only do one giveaway per quarter instead of what we're doing now, which is once per month. Nissan 370Z Nismo. Brought to you by the cloned body of Millard Fillmore. What?
He's been waiting behind Royal Farms to fill your vacancy with gay sex.
That doesn't make any sense.
Nissan 370Z Nismo. The official car of dead presidents, breakfast sandwiches, and dive bombing.
Huh?
I'm really stretching the jokes for a 370Z. Nismo Z car. Perfect for stretching your asshole incrementally over the years until you can give birth to a lawn bowling set. Do it on Memorial Day.
You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever you will be MPreg. Oh, right, this is a giveaway car. Click on the link in the description, buy a mug or digital download, and you're automatically entered to win this Nissan 370Z Nismo Stillen with a starlight roof, guaranteed to get your genitals orally stimulated in the classical style.
It has lately been a received and unattracted stimulation of my right and proper prostate onto this condition firmly united citizens of these states united. With equal pressure and pleasure, I have ejaculated upon this committee no less than 3 rows deep.
But I have to give it a fair shake. First off, I do not like its shifter, because I like S2000 shifters. I like Honda shifters. Toyota, I'm Beastie Boys. Dude, I'm a 6.7 on the Richter scale. But what I do like about the shifter is that this was one of the first transmissions sold in the US on maybe an affordable car, I should say, that had factory rev matching on a manual transmission. And it blips and it works. But this is no ordinary Nismo. This is the Stillen. Stillen is a company that falls through the cracks of automotive history. People know Liebenfelter, people know... Oh, it's my turn? I guess it is my turn. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Stillen Supercharger. This is good.
Alexander Hamilton, The Federalist Papers. So, Stillen stands for Steve Millen. Steve Millen never got the worldwide recognition that Carroll Shelby or Paul Newman did. But maybe that's the way Steve Millen preferred to live and market his name, low-key, B-side. If you know, you know. And if you don't, he's not going to care. Steve Millen was a race car driver. He raced rally in New Zealand in the 1970s, and then Mickey Thompson Stadium off-road racing, and then Millen switched to Imsa, where he won 3 races in 1990, 5 wins in 1991, and in 1992, Millen won the ISMA GTS Championship in a Nissan 370Z twin turbo, a car which Millen would become famously associated for the rest of his life. Millen developed performance parts for Nissan cars as well as other manufacturers, but most notably for Nissan. So the base 370Z made 332 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque from the sometimes celebrated, sometimes condemned 3.7-liter VQ37 VHR V6. The Nismo 370Z upped that to 350 horsepower and 276 pound-feet. This Stillen package takes the VQ engine to 400 horsepower, and I don't know how much torque. It does that through their own design of a centrifugal supercharger, turbocharger. I mean, it's so ingrained in me to call this a pro-charger style turbocharger, supercharger thing. It's half of a turbocharger. It just doesn't have a hot side. It has a belt. And your power that you can get out of a Stillen kit depends, of course, on injectors, ignition, timing, how much boost you dare shove into the notorious VQ engine. Now, Nissan evangelists claim that the stock internals of this VQ engine can take up to 650 horsepower before rods break and the VQ block itself is supposed to crack at around 800 horsepower. Now realists say, no, that's unrealistic. The stock rods will break at 550 horsepower. And then the people who track 370Zs say, you better keep these engines under 450 horsepower. So this, at 400 horsepower, is safe all day, every day. Run it like a normal car. Enjoy the power.
This engine is, the torque that comes from a centrifugal turbocharger is similar to what you would get in the 2-valve and the 3-valve modulars when you throw those things on there. There is a slight bit of weighting. Oh man, this car isn't that bad. I guess maybe I like either small fast cars or I like big lumpy boats like my crazy taxi. So I like Honda Beats, I like K cars, and I like big wallowing things like hearses and panther bodies. You show me this thing, and this is sort of a medium sports car. Traction control helping me out there. Traction control again there. Again there. I think that was when I thought I was waiting for the supercharger back there. I think it was traction control going, yeah, I know, you have your foot down in second gear on a hill. I'm gonna keep you from hurting yourself. But the transmission on 350s and 370Zs are very chunky. They're almost Toyota-esque, where you have to manhandle them a little bit, like the MR2s. Toyota MR2 gearboxes, also not a fan of, and I really wasn't a fan of the gearbox on my AW11. And you kind of got to shove them a little bit. But the addition of this like S mode, which is right down here, the S mode is the, I have a warning gauge. That's interesting. I have a warning gauge and it's warning me about my fuel level. I have 2 dots and it says, warning, you have 44 miles left. Yes, I know. We're gonna go to Rutter's and fill you up with the nicest 93 octane. Don't you worry, it's almost yum time. The 370Z was also one of the first cars sold in the United States that had a rev matching manual transmission. Downshift and the TCU and ECU communicate to match the revs into whatever gate you're shifting into. It works great. And from the inside of the car, it makes you feel like a pro. And from the outside of the car, it makes you look like a Harley Davidson rider. You know, every time you hear him, make noises, I downshift through the gears as here I come. Slow down for a stoplight. My machine is wild. It takes strong hands to control this. I'm an exceptional driver. My penis is extra small. It has a Jacob's ladder. More like a step stool. 2 steps. My house has a mini split. My penis is mini. And it comes soft and clear. Rev matching. Oh yeah, another thing. Your gauge cluster moves up and down with your steering wheel. So no matter what, you can look at all your extra bezels within bezels within bezels within your steering wheel. It's very, very strange. God, this car is just so 2000s. What was fun? You can see how the manufacturers in the 2000s were catching up to... Yes, I went into second gear. Thank you very much. You adjusted for second gear. You can see how car culture in the 90s was just gauges and gauges and gauges upon gauges. So it takes a few years for the manufacturers to figure out what the kids like. And then by the late 2000s, we're going, oh, kids like gauge pods. Let's put gauge pods in here. What are we going to put in our gauge pods? Well, how about your water temperature? Well, okay, that's a very important thing to have. Voltage, you know, I don't really know why your voltage meter needs to be front and center with everything. That could be an idiot light, really. And then what are we going to put in our third? Well, how about the time? The time can go there. Are we going to include that into the stopwatch? The stopwatch feature, where is it? Feature, there it is. Under time, reset, yeah, and go. Yep, there it is. There's our time. Our stopwatch is down here. Not there, here. I guess that's technically our odometer. No, our odometer's over here. So what is that for? It's like a stopwatch, but it doesn't tell me anything but complete seconds. You need tenths of a second, hundredths of a second. Trying to be Porsche here. Trying to be a Dollar General Porsche. Uh-oh, which side is my gas tank on? This is my first fill up in it, and I don't know which side the gas tank's on, nor do I know where my thing is. So I'm gonna go right down here on the end and hope it's on the driver's side. It's probably not, because it's a Japanese car, but who knows, it's Nissan. Am I about to be an idiot or no? I don't know where my tank release is. tank is on the passenger side. You got me, Nissan. You got me good. I thought you would have been westernized.
Out of all the Japanese sports car offerings, the 350, 370, and by the underpinnings, the current 400Z still caters to American sensibilities in that this is a larger car. It's wide. In fact, the 370Zs were wider than the 350Zs. It has a cargo area that's kind of useful, but it doesn't have back seats. Put a V8 in one of these things and you have a C6 Corvette. Just, built a little bit better. And I know that's strange to say that about a Nissan, but this feels like sort of the last era of the part of when Nissan really, really cared. Not that they don't care, not that their Nismo division isn't great, but the long sordid history of the Nissan Altima and all that big Altima energy tends to wash over everything in their fleet, including the Frontier. But the Z cars, they kind of escape the scorn. Nah, they don't. Even when I see a Z car doing something strange on the road, I'm like, oh, here comes the big Ultima Energy, you can't escape it. But it's an easy car to drive, and it's an excellent entry point into a performance car.
There is a sternness to the 370Z. Because even in 2009, it felt as if the car was trying to live up to its grandfather, the 280ZX, or the Datsun 240Z, or everything from the 60s. In a way that the Corvette, I'm already in 6th gear, in a way that the Corvette is always new, again, it's like Matt Farah said, the best Corvette is the new Corvette, whatever that one is. Z cars, like Mustangs, always seem to be yearning for the past, even as they continue to be developed and developed and developed. The difference is with Z cars is that they're competing with American cars because that's always what they did. They always competed with American cars. Maybe in the 80s when everything was tech forward, okay. 80s may have been a little, they did their own thing with the glorious twin turbo. Why am I not using my rev match? I will use my rev match. That supercharger seems to solve everything. Once this thing climbs onto the cam, there it is. Traction control turned on a straightaway. That's funny. All right, Nissan. You just saw I was biting my lower lip there. Am I liking this more than a Corvette? Because I love the C6. It is so close, especially with Stillen. So, and that's saying a lot for the VQ engine, that it's doing it with 3.8 liters, as opposed to, why did I try to rev match? I have rev matching. It's turned, no wait, it's not. There's rev matching turned on. It's doing with 3.8 liters what, yeah, it's doing with 3.8 liters what a Corvette needs 6 liters to do. So there is a focus, yeah, I think, okay. Apples to oranges it may be, but a 370Z Nismo, we're not even talking about Stillen yet, because I'm talking about suspension. 370Z Nismo, better handling than a stock C6 Corvette. And I'm sure people in the comments would agree. Yeah. Oh, brake's fantastic. Oh, this is good. Why can't Nissan just be good like this is? 1 lane road ahead, okay. Then I'm going back down the hill. I will use the school bus turnaround. The guy with the stop slow sign is definitely looking at me. Like, why is he turning around? Oh, I gotta get in front of that van. Remember, this is 2009, the same year as one of the most notorious Altimas ever made, the 2008-2009 Nissan Altima, the most disaster-prone Vine Street Expressway menace. And at the same time, they made the 370, which is great. But maybe the criticisms laid upon the 370 originates forward in time, like tachyon particles, or the paradox that Q set up for Jean-Luc Picard, that the 370 is hurt by its sort of weird Borg predecessor, the Nissan 400Z. Even though the engine is different, the transmission from the 400Z is this transmission. It's not new. The platform isn't new. And we praise new things. This is a okay platform. But maybe, like, okay, in the 2000s, people just were nuts for the 370 because in 2009 there were no Skylines. That was this car in its prime predated all the JDM import stuff, right? So this is what we had in the United States. This was what was acceptable. So it gained a lot of appeal. And it is a fantastic sports car. So I guess I'm turning the corner a little bit. Obviously, I bit my lower lip, so there was pleasure there. What do you think? This in-betweener car. It's got cargo space. It's definitely a pleasure to drive, and it's a giveaway car. So click on the link in the description, buy a mug or a digital download. Go to go.getentertowin.com/regular-cars, buy a mug, digital download, and you're automatically entered to win this wonderful stock ride height Nissan 370Z Nismo talking slow Stillen supercharger with, I get to the end of the video, I forgot to mention, also the Stillen kit comes with a water to air intercooler, so you can brag about that too. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next week. Bye.